She stood before a crowd of thousands in Athens, bathed in the glare of stage lights, wearing a crimson suit that screamed power. She spoke of a future where borders would dissolve and money would flow like water through digital veins. They called her the Cryptoqueen. She was Ruja Ignatova. But 3 days later, after delivering a speech in Sofia that promised to change the world forever, she simply walked off the stage and vanished. The plane ticket found in her apartment showed a destination of nowhere. In less than 24 hours, the woman who had built an empire on air disappeared into the shadows of the international underworld. This is not a story about a hacker in a dark room cracking encryption keys. This is a story about the most sophisticated confidence trick in the history of digital finance. It is a tale where the villain did not hide behind a keyboard, but wore a designer suit and smiled for the camera. Ruja Ignatova did not just steal money, she stole hope from millions of people across 100 countries. She turned the promise of financial freedom into a weaponized nightmare that would eventually cost victims $4 billion. To understand how a single woman could dismantle the trust of an entire generation, you have to look at the world in 2014. The global economy was still shaking from the aftershocks of the Great Recession. People were desperate. They were looking for escape routes from stagnant wages and crumbling pension systems. Into this vacuum stepped Bitcoin. It was a strange, volatile new technology that fascinated geeks but terrified the average person. Ruja saw the confusion surrounding Bitcoin as her opportunity. She did not need to invent a better coin. She only needed to make herself look like the gatekeeper of it. She positioned OneCoin not as a cryptocurrency, but as a gateway drug to wealth. The pitch was seductive in its simplicity. You did not need to understand blockchain technology. You did not need to buy a mining rig or set up a digital wallet. You simply bought a package. A membership fee that unlocked access to educational courses and trading platforms. It sounded like an investment club, but with the promise of exponential returns guaranteed by the laws of mathematics rather than market forces. The marketing materials were slick, funded by millions in laundered cash that circulated through shell companies in Cyprus, Bulgaria, and Switzerland. The structure was designed to be self-perpetuating. New members had to recruit new members to unlock their own earnings. This is the definition of a pyramid scheme, yet it was wrapped in the shiny packaging of blockchain technology. People from all walks of life joined. Teachers, doctors, mothers, fathers. They watched their friends post pictures of luxury vacations funded by OneCoin returns. When Ruja appeared on stage, she was the embodiment of success. She told them they were part of a movement that would topple the Federal Reserve. She spoke of decentralization, yet her company was entirely centralized under her control. The mechanics of the scam were as simple as they were deceptive. There was no blockchain for OneCoin. There was no distributed ledger. When you bought OneCoins, you were buying a digital entry in a private database owned by Ruja Ignatova and her inner circle. She could mint new coins whenever she wanted. She could freeze accounts if people asked too many questions. She could sell the coins on the black market to convert them into real currency like Bitcoin or euros. The value of OneCoin was entirely fictional, sustained only by the constant influx of new victims pouring their life savings into the machine. The technical deception was layered deep within the user experience. Victims were encouraged to buy physical mining rigs that looked like cryptocurrency hardware but were essentially useless computers connected only to OneCoin's internal network. These rigs generated no actual coins on any public blockchain. They were props used to convince users